What's up, guys? I haven't really done a vlog in a while. I've been super duper busy. We've been moving into this new office, and I've been like running back and forth between here and the old office, launching new products on the Tactical Baby Gear website and all that kind of stuff. And I've been busy. So I'm super busy today, but I figured I'd at least bring you guys along for the ride. I've got a lot on my mind. I want to talk to you guys a lot about, and a bunch of stuff that's like come up since the last couple of videos. So I wanted to address that. We're just gonna have to do it while we work. So I'm packing some things up, but we'll talk and pack at the same time. First thing I'm gonna do is switch up this microphone now. I've been looking at some ad accounts for people recently on Facebook stuff that have like just asked me like, hey, can you take a look at this, see if there's something I'm doing wrong? And I'm super happy to do that a lot of times, depending on what I have going on at the time. But one thing I noticed was audiences. The way some of you guys are using that isn't correct. So maybe there was some like confusion from like what I'm telling you, or you are just confused. Anyways, some of you guys are confused. So let's straighten that out. First thing is the website traffic custom audience stuff. You can't use traffic from other websites. You have to use traffic from your own website. Stand by. You can't use traffic from other people's website. You can't say, I want to target people that have been to websites with, you know, this URL, right? You can't target people that went to, I don't know, batteries.com if batteries.com isn't your website. I hope that makes sense. Or DJI. If you're a drone dealer, you can't retarget people that went to DJI.com/Mavic Pro. It doesn't work like that. It has to be your website. So you can retarget people to went to specific pages on your website. So that's how the custom audiences works within website traffic. So that was one thing I noticed this past week. Actually, a couple times I saw that. So that was one thing. What was another thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, a lot of people asking about like just starting in general. Actually, I'm gonna go to my phone in a second and find out what those questions were specifically, because there was a few things to address there. Stand by, let me swap this out. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Check. Anyways, hope you guys can still hear me. I don't remember exactly some of the other things off the top of my head because I'm trying to pack this bag. I've got to head to the other shop. I've got to sew all the wagons up. We sold a bunch of the custom Veer cruisers. So we're gonna head to the other shop and I'm gonna start working on sewing those up. I've got a meeting at 11:30. I'm gonna have to stop for busy day. Busy. What else has been going on, Brian? I feel like there's a bunch of stuff in my head that I've been thinking about, and now I'm, you know, got this camera on and I can't remember everything. Other than a bunch, probably shouldn't put that in there. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, so you know what? Let's get in the car. We'll talk about this in just a minute. I can't remember either. Can't remember. That. This. This one here. Need my laptop, that's for sure. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna go, we'll talk more in the car here. Store. And this is the new office. I don't know if you guys have, well, I haven't shown any of you the new office because it's not done yet. So as soon as it's done, I will give you guys a nice tour. These, by the way, are the wagons. If you didn't, that's the custom cruiser that I've got to go. It is bright. Sew up a bunch of those. I sold. Anyways, that's what we're gonna go do. Yeah. All right, some of the stuff I want to talk about is let's talk about community. Community is huge. So when you're building a social following, community is key. It's, you know, getting deep with your customers, getting deep with your followers, building a community. You know, a following that's going to get behind you and stand behind you and support you and all that kind of stuff. You know, speaking of these cruisers, you know, the company that we kind of collaborated with was just blown away. I mean, we sold all of the cruisers we had in like 4 hours through an email blast, which is another thing I want to talk about. But, you know, to sell them out in 4 hours is just crazy. And, you know, it's humbling, and we're very appreciative of that. And we've got the best followers I could ask for, you know, in tactical baby gear. So when we sent out an email, we're like, hey, you can get these now. They're available. There's limited quantity. And then they sold out in 4 hours, and we sent them an email saying, hey, we sold them out, blah, blah. They were like, holy cow, you know, this is crazy. But it's, you know, we've got to, one, it's a good product. So that's first and foremost. Second is, you know, we built some hype around it and people wanted it. But third is just like, we've got deep community. I don't push things that I don't believe in. People trust me. I think you guys trust me. I hope you do. I try to be as authentic as I can with you guys. I mean, this is me. This is just who I am. So, you know, and I don't push products I don't believe in, all this stuff. Anyways, community is huge. Building community. We launched another new product this past week, which is body armor panels. We had a few people, you know, haters are gonna hate, right? And it's just the nature of the beast with a product like that. And, you know, we're trying to protect people and protect families and things like that. And people take it in such a direction that it just has no sense in going that direction. And we're trying to profit off of fear, like all this stuff. Like, we're just trying to help. That's it. So, you know, we had a lot of people get behind us and defend us and stand up for us and all this kind of stuff. So again, it just goes back to building community and getting deep with your followers and engaging with them, which is another conversation I had with somebody this week. And it was, you know, this person's been putting things out there and trying to get people to buy some apparel and things like that. It's kind of super funky stuff, and you really have to understand the person to understand the apparel, which is what I told him. I said, you've just got to engage with these people, talk to them, communicate with them, be social with them. He didn't quite understand that when I said engage with them, but you have to be social on the social platform, right? Like, you have to actually interact with these people. You have to comment back when they comment, reply to people that have questions. If they send you a message, reply to the message as much as you can. Like, I've been bad about it lately because there's just so many of them coming in and it's hard to get to all of them. On tactical baby gear stuff, a few people from tactical baby gear customers have reached out to me actually through the Beav Brodie channel, which has been cool because it's easier for me. I see that it doesn't get buried within lots and lots of messages at this point. So Instagram and Facebook, you know, messages are good for me on this channel so far. They're not getting super flooded. But you got to interact with them. You got to engage with them. They have to know who you are. You've got to build that connection with them. You've got to build trust with them.
and with that, you know, every time you make a post, this is another example of things I've noticed this week that I'm combating it. You know, every time you make a post on Facebook and Instagram, don't have your hand out asking for money. Don't make every post about trying to sell something to somebody. Bring value to them. Let's talk about something else other than your product that's still relevant in that world and in that industry. Not just your product specifically, other things that are relevant to it. Start conversations. Hey, what do you guys think about this? Provoke the engagement. Instagram and Facebook are huge on initial engagement and how much engagement it gets, and they kind of use that as a way to score how relevant it is. So if it's not getting engagement, you know, Facebook and Instagram want the best user experience as possible. So if your post isn't getting engagement in that first 15 to 30 minutes, it's going to not show it to more people. Now, if a bunch of people are liking and commenting, especially commenting on it, they say, oh wow, people like this post, this is relevant, this is good for our user experience, let's show it to more of your followers. And that's where a lot of you guys got upset when they implemented all these algorithms and you know, all this stuff, that when those pages lost that organic engagement, it's just because now they're gauging the relevancy, and they're gauging how good it's going to be for a user experience for the other people in their feed. So that's how they're doing it. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant whether you like it or not. That's how it's being done. And until it changes, you need to figure out how to leverage that, how to provoke engagement, ask people to interact, ask questions, get them to, you know, start talking to them. The more you reply to those people, the more engagement keeps happening on that post and keeps it going and gets more organic reach and all that kind of stuff. So don't think you're like such a rock star that you don't need to reply, like, oh, I'm Mr. Hotshot, like I don't reply to these people, I'm too cool for that. Like, that's where you lose that depth, that people, you know, start to think you're an a-hole because you never reply to people or whatever, which I think is what we've been really good at. We interact with our customers and our community ridiculously, and we've got good connection with them. So that's been huge. Email is something I said I wanted to talk about. Email marketing. Guys, once you have a customer's data, the email address is huge for you on so many different levels, but specifically retargeting them, not even retargeting them, remarketing to them through email is completely free to you, aside from the whatever monthly fee you're paying for the email platform. But it's cost you nothing to send an email to your thousands and thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of customers to sell them something else that's relevant to what they bought last time. It's easy. So make sure that you're using an email service. MailChimp is a good one for the guys that are first starting out. It's pretty inexpensive. It's tiered, so depending on how many people you have in your email lists database, it's tiered. So I think it starts at like $5 or $10 a month, and then it goes up $15, and then 20, and then 25, and then 30, and 35, depending on how many people you have on your email list. If you're a much larger store and you have lots of customers and you want to do a little bit more dynamic segmenting and stuff like that, Klaviyo is a really good one. It's Klavio. It is more expensive, but it's more capable. It does more stuff. It's really neat. That's what we use currently. We used to use MailChimp when we first started out. We kind of outgrew that and outgrew some of its capabilities and wanted to do other things, so we switched to MailChimp or Klaviyo. We've been really happy with that so far. But email's huge. But again, don't use email. Don't be spammy with it. Don't have your hand out every time you send an email. Send some emails that have value, or hey, check out this funny video, or hey, here's a really cool way to use this product that maybe you didn't think about, or other people are doing this. If you're in the firearms industry, like I know a lot of you are, because I'm deeply involved with a lot of you guys that are in that industry and trying to help you, use email. Oh gosh, you guys might fall over. The camera's rigged up so gangster on the seat right now. Use email in conjunction with a Facebook post to help get that lift and get that organic reach. Maybe you're doing a giveaway on Facebook to gain some awareness, right? I mean, Facebook is all about awareness. Oh, gee, that gives me something else to talk about. This is going to be kind of a long episode, and it's literally going to be just me talking probably the whole time. This is not going to be like a fun, exciting adventure episode. I want to bring you guys a ton of information because it's been wrapped up in my head. I got to get it out. Anyways, getting that lift and that reach and that virality on your giveaway, so send an email with that in conjunction with the post and say, hey, we're doing a giveaway on our Facebook page. Go like and share and comment or whatever you have for rules on your giveaway, and it'll help get that organic lift if you are somebody that's in a ad space that can't really advertise, that Facebook hinders you because of firearms or something like that. But getting that initial organic lift by sending an email at the same time as your post and put a link to the post in the email is a really good way to kind of help get that lift and get that going. The firearms industry is definitely, it's tough. You got to be creative about how you market. And that's why influencer marketing is so big for the firearms industry, is because they've got the reach and they've got the following to help promote your product. So instead of spending ads on Facebook and Instagram, you're spending that money to an influencer who can get you that reach and get you that exposure to all those people that wouldn't normally see it because you're hindered. Now, if you're not hindered by running ads, influencers are still really good for you because depending on the influencer, if they have depth with their community and people take what they say very seriously and they trust them, then it's good. Now, if they're a spammy influencer that every post they make is like, buy something and use my coupon code, it sucks, don't do it, and save your money and spend it on Facebook ads targeting a better audience than theirs. I lost my train of thought, but we're at the other shop, so we'll continue this conversation in a minute. So, I don't even remember what I was talking about earlier, but there's just so many things, you guys, that like, some of you guys are doing a really good job, and other people just aren't thinking. They're not using their heads. They're just like doing crazy stuff instead of like really thinking through a strategy. Just like throw a bunch of crap out there and like figure it out later. But think it all through. Put some thoughts in place. Put a strategy in place. Like same thing with. So earlier we were talking about email marketing and stuff. And I know a lot of people that aren't doing anything, are doing zero email marketing at all, which is like just leaving so much on the table. People that aren't collecting email addresses and stuff, like that's crazy to me. There's so much value in email addresses. A few tutorials ago, I talked about creating a lookalike audience based off of people who've purchased and using your pixel to do so. But if you're in a stage where maybe you've had an e-commerce store for a little while and you just now put the pixel in place so you don't have the data of your buyers, you can take your email list and you can upload that into Facebook. And what Facebook is going to do is take and it'll search out Facebook accounts that are associated with that email address. Once it's done that, it'll compile a list, an audience. It'll create that audience of people who've purchased that you did by syncing an email list. You can then create that lookalike audience of people who've purchased from you and kind of get those same results until you can get enough data on the pixel to where it's a little bit more dynamic and it's updating periodically. And as you get more buyers, it's collecting that information. You don't have to upload email addresses all the time. So that's another huge benefit to email. email addresses specifically, but new product launches and there's so much stuff. There's so much you can do with email, and it can't, just don't make it spammy, and you'll be just fine. When I was in automotive school and learning how to sew, all the guys that were in like the body shop classes, which I did too, but at the time, like if you're in a different class, the guys that were in the upholstery class, we were called stitch bitches, which was perfectly fine with me because here I am now, still using my sewing machine. I did a lot of cool car stuff with the sewing machine too. A lot of really cool stuff. It's just a really cool, valuable skill. It's a lot like welding or something. Things will need to be sewn, things will need to be welded, it's cool. Especially it's one of those skills that not a lot of people have, so when you can do it, it's a commodity, and I don't know, that's cool. I just enjoy it. I think it's, for me, the process of like creating something is just what I enjoy the most. Whether that's building a cool car, welding something up, fabricating something, sewing something, creating content, having like a finished product. I think at the end of the day, I'm more of a creative kind of a person, way more than I am a business person. I just happen to kind of understand both sides of it. And I then partnered up with my partner, who is much more into like running the business side of it and dealing with the day-to-day operations, and more of an operator than I am. I am not really into the operations side of the business at all. I understand it, I know how to do it, I've done it. I just know I don't like to do it. So I think a lot of your success, a lot of my success is dependent upon being self-aware enough to realize what you're good at, what you're not good at, and where you should hire somebody or partner with somebody or something along those lines to do the things that you are not good at, or do the things that you don't want to do, to allow you to do the things that you enjoy doing, or to allow you to do the things you're good at. Let someone else do what they're good at, and everybody wins together, versus banging your head against the wall doing stuff you hate to do. Because when you enjoy it, it's never really like work. Anyways, I had a really good conversation with a guy earlier, a client, and I was trying to guide him about some content ideas and things like that, and making sure that your content is relevant. Everything that you do, relevancy is the biggest thing. So making sure that your content is relevant to your brand, making sure that the time and place that you're showing them certain kinds of content is relevant to their position within your sales cycle. So there's kind of like, there's a method to that madness, right? That you don't want to be super transactional up front. You want to gauge your interest, kind of show them the brand, give them a link to the website, see what they do with it. It's very hard to convert cold traffic. I've talked about this so many times. So you kind of have to nurture them to a purchase. But trying to send like a retargeting kind of an ad to somebody that's never seen your brand before isn't going to work very well. So think about the context of like when they're seeing that, ad, and making sure that the content that you're showing them at that time is relevant to what they've seen already, or what they have or have not done on your website, things like that. So that's a big thing to keep in mind as well, is like everything has to be relevant to something. And you can't just throw arbitrary crap out there, especially if you're retargeting people who've engaged with your content. Make sure that the content you're putting out there is relevant to the brand, and it's not just like random stuff that has nothing to do with what you're selling, because when you go to retarget those people, it's not going to be relevant. Like if you're selling, I don't know, pizza cutters and you're posting pictures of dog toys, it's not relevant. Yeah, so if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it, because I know this video probably got long, or maybe it didn't and I edited it all out and it's like 3 minutes. I have no idea what's going to happen from this episode. It's like all over the place, but this is going to be probably the weirdest episode ever, but I really hope that you guys got something out of the information there. It's late. It's like 6 o'clock. Not late, but I got to get home. I got dinner, kids, homework, reading, math. So weird. Anyways, guys, I hope that you get something out of this video. I know there's just like a lot of like crazy information all over the place, but I think there's a lot of value in it, and I hope that it helps some of you and things like that. So anyways, give this video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.